Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to another episode of Tea and Coffee with Paula and
Jay, and hello, everybody. Nice to see you all. Well, be here for you all and have a nice conversation. It's going to be just Paula and Jay today because we got a lot to cover from the weekend.
The Wanderer has returned.
Has returned. Yes, I am back. I left Friday, came back Sunday, and we're going to go through the weekend. There's a lot of news to cover. Carney with his announcement, Charlie Kirk's funeral, and some shenanigans in Toronto and Ottawa in the streets. Things to cover. Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. Happy Monday.
How's Wilbur?
Wilbur is good. He had a great weekend, lots of roaming and grazing and having a good time. And he definitely now comes when he's being called because he thinks, food. And he's got quite the speed to him. It's hilarious. You should watch a pig run. It's quite funny.
Works for me too. If you got the right dinner on and you call me, I'll come running as well. But yeah, I know it's Wilbur and me who are competing for your time right now. Definitely. He's like, where's Paula? Oh, she's out with the pig. When's she back? Oh, in a while. But yeah, competing right now.
Well, yeah. Well, in order to make sure that he stays within the fence, doesn't wander too far.
He being the pig.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, exactly. So just giving him some supervision for the next little bit to make sure he stays in his area. And then once that happens, then he can be outside and enjoy himself for longer.
Sounds familiar. Isn't that how you train me?
No.
It was spaghetti and other things. And no. But no, it's good that I came back. There were nothing burnt down. Everything was fine. No major issues. Sounds like everybody was enjoying some time this weekend. And now the next leg of projects will be starting. Power related. We'll do the shelter and then get the Generac. We're starting to get into colder days and nights. Now's the time to kind of get this done.
Get her done.
Get her done.
Get her done.
For sure. Oh, I made myself a little too dark. Let's start with that. Just this. There we go. All right. So homestead's good. Projects are good. No major. Oh, wait. Yeah, we have those events coming up. Oh, wait. Today as well. First day of campaigning.
Yes.
This is now the last day to register. So if you were holding off to register, go get it done today.
12 o'clock noon is the deadline.
All right. So pause the episode, get into your car, go get this done. You can catch us at the end because today's the day you get it done. But at the end of the day today, we're going to find out who our opponents are. We already know about some of them, and there might be more. We'd like to see people get involved in the process, see where we're at the end of the day. But campaign is going to start now. So we're going to start looking at some advertising, get some signs. We already have one of the counselors joining us on Thursday.
Great.
On the show. So Glenn will be joining us from the council. His campaign is starting as well. And that's our plan too, is to invite as many of the candidates on as possible that want to come on, that return their messages, even though they're my counselor. We'll see what we can do there because I want it to be an open forum. I want Albertans and specifically people in the Brazeau County region to meet the candidates, all of them, incumbents and new. I'm not here to debate them. This isn't a debate show, as you know. It's a get to meet you type of show. It's tea and coffee. So hopefully we can get as many of those candidates on as possible. And it's election time. Yep,
no, exactly. And it's a good opportunity to especially be putting them out, giving them a forum and a platform to speak. What are the issues that they want to bring forward? What are the things that they want to work on? It's only going to benefit the community.
Yep. And I've already been invited to the District 6 gathering for the candidates. So that'll be October 7th at Buck Creek.
How very Hunger Games District 6.
Division 6, actually, I think it's called. Division 6. Were the 3 candidates that I'm aware of. We'll see if there's more today. Have been invited to go and have a chat with the community.
Great.
This is in Buck Creek Community Center. So if you're in the area, we'll see you there on October 7th. And I'm sure we're going to be doing some other ones. I'd like to do something in Breton, because even though Breton is not where I'm running, you are.
Yep.
And the entire area around Breton is Division 6. But we'll be hosting something there together.
Yep.
Because we both have to have a chat with constituents and voters and get that on.
Yep.
You excited?
I am looking forward to it. Like I was working over the weekend on my little booster ads. The Boost is our local paper. And so I'm going to try and get those in before 10 o'clock this morning.
And I'm very pleased because there's been a few messages I received, I think through X now, that said, hey, we're running too. and me and my girlfriend are going to do it as well.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. So it looks like we have spurred on at least a few people to go ahead and take that chance and get in there, because we need some good common sense,
Yeah.
accountable minds in there, and people are going to fight hard to make sure that our communities are better.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I have as part of my campaign is right now, if everything stands the way it is, my two opponents are the incumbent and the previous incumbent.
Yes, that's right.
So I guess my message to Division 6 is if you're really happy with the way the life has gone the last 8 years, you have them to thank and put your vote there. But if you think the price of food is too crazy, the roads haven't been approved, flying certain flags in front of the community,
Mhm.
in front of the council building is not in your favor, and you definitely want to see a change back to where life was better and prosperity was there, well, then that will be your option.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm
that's
going to
right.
be working on that messaging and getting that out there because it's time for change. I
Mhm.
think it's a good time for change. And of course, if you're looking at Alberta self-determination, somebody who's been working on it a lot, meeting a lot of people, and we'll get into that in a bit,
Yeah.
and having conversations, some serious conversations, then I'm certainly going to be a good option for you.
Yep, certainly. And if you have concerns about ideology in school, how the current school is being run, how is the budget being spent correctly, then yeah, you can also speak to me as well because you share those concerns for the Breton schools.
So I'm excited about this. So here we go, campaign again, second
Hmm.
time this year. But I definitely am looking forward to meeting some people that we know and some new faces as well, and
Yeah,
getting some
no,
new information.
for sure.
And speaking of, it was a busy weekend. So we're going to get into the We Unify conference because I did check out several hours of it on Sunday. I
Hmm.
did not have an opportunity to see, the Thursday gathering, Thursday night thing, the gala or whatever,
Hmm.
the meet and greet with the speakers. I wasn't in town for that. I was busy Friday traveling and getting ready for Friday evening. And then Saturday was fully booked with interviews. It went successful. We'll get into that as well. But I did have a little bit of time on Sunday. That was turning into the Uber for a lot of people,
Hmm.
bringing them to the airport, back and forth between their hotel and the venue, and just kind of, being a good Albertan host, helping some people
Yes.
out. So found myself doing that, which allowed me to kind of check it out. And good people there, Chloe, Summer, Jonathan, hooked me up with a media pass. So I was able
Cool.
to go check it out. And it was an interesting event. I definitely will get into that because I was on Sunday. I kind of want to rewind a bit to explaining to people why I wasn't there for the
Hmm.
full thing. I think it's fair because I got asked it a few times. And we'll get into one gentleman who wasn't pleased that I showed up on Sunday. At least he wasn't very cordial or unifying.
Hmm.
But in either case, the main reason was when I was contacted to be a speaker there, which I have no problem speaking, as you
Yes,
know,
yes, yes. No issues there.
not a problem. What I wanted to do, because we're working on the Alberta Self Determination series, and I was planning to go to Calgary anyways, and in order to justify the time and the expense, we cover our own travel and our own accommodations. I needed to continue that project. The project
Hmm.
has funding, as you know. You and I
Yes.
put some funding in, and we have two investors
Hmm.
or funders, whatever you want to call them right now, great people, who put some money in. So that project itself, when I'm working on that project, has funding. So I can do
Yeah.
things like get a room. Um, I couldn't do that. I can't use that money if I'm not doing the project. And this show doesn't cover the bills.
No.
So one of the things that I had to do if I was going to go down there was to two birds, one stone. And that was to get some interviews done.
Mhm.
So when I got contacted to be there, I pitched him and I said, look, if I'm going to come down to Calgary and cover my costs, I need to work on a project. So would I get space at the event to do interviews? Oh, said it would be lovely. It would be a great idea. They want to get more exposure. Everybody's there. Now's a good time. So great. So that's what we were planning. So we all knew because of the number of speakers that it was going to be short windows for speeches. It wasn't going to be more than like 10 or 15 minutes. That opened up 3 days, like three
Yeah.
full days to me to go ahead and capture these interviews. So I thought, perfect, let's do that. We can justify the expense. We can make it part of the project and we get this done. The sooner, well, as we got closer to the event date, um, the certainty of the space to do the interviews was in question. And look, I'm not faulting the people involved. They have way more important things to do than worry about little Jason talking to some people with his camera in the corner. Absolutely, like way more important things to do. So I wasn't really pushing the issue all that crazy or anything like that. But as we were getting closer and closer to the date, it became less and less certain that I can get space. And then it got to the point where, well, you can have space if you pay for it. So when we started to look at the costs to do the interviews there, and at this point, Leighton Gray, who was one of the interviews I was trying to get, had already offered up his office in Calgary to do the interviews free. And it's just down the street from the venue. So I was bouncing that around in my head. I'm like, okay, well, I could spend several $100s or close to $1,000 to go ahead and get space at the conference. No guarantee that it's going to be quiet. No guarantee that it's going to be private. And if I wanted that, it was going to be even more money, because then I can go directly to the venue, which is the BMO Conference Center, and rent my own space there outside of the conference. And I'm like, oh boy, like that is not in the budget. Full stop. You know this because you crunched the numbers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And then we got an email about covering our own food, which would add about $500 to the whole cost. So now we're into territory where we can't afford it.
Yeah.
As a family and as a project, that money was just not available to us. Leighton's offer of a free space became very attractive. I contacted him. He said, absolutely, go set yourself up. He won't be coming to the conference anymore because there's various people who had plans change. And as much as Jonathan tried to unify the Conservatives, that's a very difficult thing to do. There's a lot of politics. There's a lot of personalities, a lot of things behind the scenes that most of the public is not aware of. But anyways, the people who were going shifted, and Leighton was no longer going to be there, but he still offered his space up.
Yeah, so, thanks for that.
Absolutely. So that's what I ended up having to do. I couldn't afford the conference cost, like the food side of things, because that wouldn't be covered under my project. That's not project related. That's Jason related, or even the Levine Show related, and we don't have those funds. And then I couldn't justify the cost to be at the conference to do the interviews, which meant I'm not available to go speak on the day they wanted me, which was Saturday, which is they had full bookings. So for those reasons, the cost and my goal to have interviews just didn't work out. So I had to pull out the commitment there. No big deal. They had many speakers. Sure, wasn't missed. But I'm happy to say that the interview I was able to get.
He had one or two.
Yeah, one or two. David Craig, who is the host of Citizen, great journalist, does a lot of good work. He the first one I had, and then Brett Olin, CEO of Bow Valley. Of course, we dived into the finances of a future Alberta and the problems with the current Canadian financial system, domestically and internationally. Sean Newman of the Sean Newman podcast. We got into about his journey and his path as a host. Like, he started off as a sports commentator and interviewing a lot of sports figures, and then he got into politics, and his eyes opened up. And also, what's the role of media when it comes to a democracy, and how the media is playing out to this whole conversation about self-determination. That was a cool one. Corey Morgan, some more media, but we really dived into a lot with him. His interview is going to ruffle a lot of feathers because, oh boy, that was not a pun I needed. It's going to be Indigenous and First Nation people, because we delved into that issue a lot about their sovereignty, what sovereignty would look like in a new Alberta, treaties and other things like that. Mitch Sylvester came by, CEO of APP. Oh, he's got so much energy, that guy. He's just, this is an aura about him. I think he knows he's on something important, and it powers him quite well. Probably after the referendum and the vote and all that, he might take a year break.
They just take a break. Stop driving to places and just take a break.
Yeah. I don't know. If he's like me, it'll be like for a day, and he's going to I got to do something again. But Mitch, that interview was great. We dived into his meeting with the Party Quebecois leader who came to Alberta to meet with them. That's interesting. You're going to enjoy that. Rob Anders came by. So Rob Anders is a former MP. I think he's his sixth term. He started with the Reform Party,
Yeah.
ended up with the Conservative Party at the end. The Conservative Party came
Yeah,
from.
been on the show a couple of times. Good guy.
Yep, really good guy. A bucket of truth. That guy. Lots and lots of information. He grew up with Danielle Smith. He knows her well. They were roommates for a long time. We dived into a little bit about what he thinks her mission is and what she's working on, and they still talk. They spend a lot of time together. It was good to get his perspective. And then we ended the day with Theo Fleury, who came by, talking about the trauma our government has created, some ways to kind of heal, and he definitely thinks that Alberta needs to heal, but he's more concerned less about the people and more about the people. Like, when I say the people, I mean Albertans, and more about the people driving the various ships to get this done. He's more concerned about whether or not their ambitions are good. Can they come together? Can they make this happen? He watched the freedom movement fall apart all over the place, various attempts to restart things, and how it falls apart. So it was a great 7 interviews, 7 interviews. And Dennis Modry had to reschedule because he thought I was going to be at the conference, which would have been ideal, but the costs were just prohibitive.
Yeah.
So we'll get him another time, but that allowed me to have lunch.
It allowed you to eat. You need to eat.
It did. And like, oh, okay, well, that's too bad. So then I ran and had lunch and fueled up again and continued with that day. So it was a busy day, and that was by design, because we need to finish that series of 50 interviews. Danielle Smith, we're trying to make it that hers is the 50th and last one, and that's October 14th. Was where I'll be meeting with her on that one. But I have about a month to get the rest, and we're up to 32 interviews now. Not bad.
Yep,
Not
18
bad.
to go.
Yep, I think a couple more visits to Calgary and Edmonton, and I'll be able to finish up because there's several interviews there. Preston Manning, now in contact with him through a good friend, Nadine Wellwood. Try and get him as one of them as well. I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
And so some good names, some good perspectives. And again, I'm not trying to get rah, let's do this. I'm trying to get a perspective. And
points of view, opinions for sure.
Yeah. So that's why Saturday was not available anymore. I needed a space. I needed quiet. I needed private. And it was full. Did that. Friday was fun.
Yeah. Why don't you go share? Because I have a little snippet of information from that. So why don't you share with our viewers?
So the JCCF reached out to me and said, hey, we're doing a gala, Calgary. It's an award. We're presenting an award, and we'd love you to be there. Our compliments. You can come and join us. Yeah, okay, great. That sounds like fun, because at this time we're still planning to be at the conference, and the conference and the JCCF coordinated so that Friday night wasn't a gala or a dinner for the conference. They did that on Thursday night, so that the JCCF one wouldn't have to compete. Let's just put it that way, because a lot of the people that were at the conference were also at the gala, like Bruce Party and myself and Lisa Robinson and Ed Coons and a whole bunch of people that were at both. So they worked together, a little bit of unity there, to go and make sure that there was not a scheduling conflict for a lot of people. So I went down there, enjoyed myself, had a table. Lisa Robinson and her son joined. I said Bruce Party and a whole bunch of people. Jason Stephan from an MLA in Calgary was there. And just getting on with the events, having the dinner, having the appetizer, and just hanging out. And then at one point, John Carpe went up there and he started to recognize people there. So the lawyers at the JCCF, clients, past award winner, I think, or two. And he was going through, and he introduced Will Dove. Will Dove stood up and acknowledged him. I'm like, oh, cool, this is really neat. And as they're going through various ones, suddenly he goes, and then media. I want to thank media. That's cool, because I saw who's there.
Yeah.
So he recognized the group from Rebel. They stood up, and there were 3 of them, Ezra plus a couple of the Rebels were there, and they got a nice round of applause. Then he goes, hey, and I also want to recognize Corey Morgan from Western Standard. And as it's time, the dessert just hit our table. And I'm like, oh, look at this, it's strawberry and stuff like that. And then last but not least, I want to recognize Jason Levine from the Levine Show. I'm like, holy smokes.
Yay.
Hey, they didn't tell you this.
Yeah.
They didn't say, hey, look, be ready. Like, I was like in the moment to eat. I was just surprised. So I stood up and thanked everybody for that one. So thank you to John Carpe.
Mhm.
The JCCF was a wonderful event. Very nice. I'm trying to get video because I think people should see that whole thing. The keynote speakers, Theo Fleury was one of them. And it was really good to see in that room, there seemed to be
Yeah.
a lot of unity because there's a lot of people there that are working hard for the future of Canada and Alberta. And everybody left, I guess their egos at the door. 'Cause that
Nice.
wasn't really a room full of egos anyways. And it was a good time.
Excellent.
So yeah, I text you like, you won't believe what just happened. Because I had no idea. So thank you to John Carpe and his team. I got to meet some of the people behind the scenes. Marty Moore, who's been on the show a few times, got to meet him. And Julian, who does a lot of scheduling for the JCCF and the social media side of things, got to meet him. Jeff Evely was there. He definitely got recognized for sure. And I think he was a little embarrassed. Yeah. But no, it was a good time. So thank you again for having me there. And certainly would contribute with the JCCF in the future. They're doing some good stuff there.
Excellent. Well done, babe.
I wish you were there.
Yeah, well
It
done.
was kind of cool. And then, of course, all the people that I met there for the first time, and then familiar faces. Bruce Party. He obviously was a little tired. He's still on Ontario time.
Yeah.
A lot of people on Ontario time that event. But it ended off pretty good. Oh, Chris Barber and Tamara Leach were there.
Yep.
It was good to see them as well. Chris Barber is a JCCF client. Tamara Leach, of course, is fighting with the Democracy Fund. But there was, again, a lot of unity because JCCF acknowledged the Democracy Fund and the hard work that they're doing. And there's a lot of work between them. Like, you help that one, I'll help this one type of thing. And a lot of acknowledgement to the contributors and supporters of the JCCF. Because without their fundraising, that organization couldn't do what they're doing.
Right.
So that was fun. So that was Friday, and went back and got myself ready for Saturday. And then Saturday, we went through it already. I do want to get into the Sunday at the JCCF, not JCCF, sorry, apologies, Reunify.
Yeah.
So late on Saturday, I got the confirmation I'll have a pass for media to go check it out. I did. I want to give credit where credit's due. So Jonathan, Chloe, Summer, and the rest of the volunteers and team, congratulations.
Hold on a second. Are you muted? No.
No, we got this stuff all marked up.
Refresh, Derek.
Yeah, and I'm sure we would have known by now.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the organizers for the event. You managed to get a lot of people together in one spot. There were no hassles with the public or any protesters or anything like that. It went off pretty smooth. It was good to see in person for the first time people like Clyde do something. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Who else did I see there for the first? Oh, our good friend, his book's right here. Ray McGinnis was there. Let's see him again
with his new spectacles.
Yeah, just not. Yeah, just really not the same without those other ones. You should hunt them down, find another set of those. Lots of people who watched the show. Got to see them as well. Patricia Robertson was there from the NCI. Ted Coons, Jeff Evely. Lots and lots of good people there. So congratulations on getting that done. Now, I do want to give some positive, constructive suggestions because I talked to a lot of people, and it was mixed. The response was mixed, whether they were attending or speaking or meant to be speaking. There's a lot of mixed comments. So, Jonathan, this is really for you in a positive way. I do hope you continue to do these events because you're heading in the right direction. I like that a lot. I think you went too big for this one. The BMO Center likely was a very big expense. Certainly is a very large venue. I don't know if you need to book a venue so early in your planning necessarily, like get your speakers and stuff in order. Far too many speakers. It's great to try and bring these many people together, but the consequence is they all want to have some time, be
That's
able to
right.
speak to the audience. And that was the number one criticism that I heard was people thought they were getting more time or they were promised more time and it didn't
Mhm.
materialize. There was a lot of last minute shuffling, trying to get things to work. So hats off to Jonathan on his attempt to try and satisfy that. They say bringing conservatives together is like herding cats. That's way easier. That's way easier.
Uh-huh.
I think it's way easier to herd cats, because a lot of people wanna get their messages out. They wanna be heard. They want to interact, and it's difficult with 80 something people lined up. One of the things that I do have to address because it's not okay, which is, some of the, um, misinformation that came out around why some people were canceling. So, yes, it's unfortunate Charlie Kirk assassination happened just before the event. Um, and I know of 4 people, myself included, who didn't, were not able to make it and they had to cancel. And none of them canceled because of concerns about assassinations or trouble or
Mhm.
security there. However, some of that messaging was put out, saying it's unfortunate. A lot of people are canceling because of the Charlie Kirk thing. I don't know anybody that canceled over that. And unfortunately, and I'm gonna, back up my buddy on this one, David, Viva Fry.
Mm.
He was scheduled to go there, and I reached out to him to be one of the interviews, because while he was in Calgary, now's a great time to sit down with
Yeah.
David, get 45 minutes from him, and he responds right away. He's like, "Look, so sorry, I have to cancel because I'm going to Charlie Kirk's funeral." So, because we all saw the events,
Mhm.
and then Saturday and Sunday, everybody was getting together for the funeral, large showing. I know that David went to it, but at least one person was putting out there that David was scared. That's not true. Okay, he went to the funeral of. He certainly would have been there if not but for.
Mm.
And I know this because I was coordinating an interview with him all along. So going forward, I think that Jonathan should find some trustworthy volunteers around messaging
Sure.
on the influencer side of things, because that's where it wasn't accurate, and that was unfortunate because I had a few people come up to me and say, "Oh, did you leave? Did I heard that you were worried about security and you weren't coming?" I'm like, "No, no, no."
Yeah.
It actually turned out to be a financial decision and scheduling because I had a job to do. Um, and there was no trouble. There was no counter protesters or anything like that. And this
Well,
is
that's also glad
Calgary.
to hear.
And this is Calgary. So this is not this type of thing that they do down there. But some of that messaging went out. And that's unfortunate. Another constructive suggestion for him for next time is don't make it all about the people, the speakers. Okay. There was a lot of push on, hey, this person's coming, come join us. Focus on the content that you plan to deliver because people wanted to consume topics and content. So health was a good one that he
Yeah.
did, and freedom and sovereignty and media. Like he did break it down into topics, but that wasn't in front for the
Mhm.
people to decide to come. He promoted the venue a lot. He kind of made the venue one of the stars of the conference because it's a big venue. But I think that was a mistake because it also made it appear to be an expensive thing. And it turned out to be a very expensive thing if you tried to get tickets. And then also, he relied upon a lot about speakers and who's going to be there to draw the crowd. My suggestion for next time is to focus more on the content that you're going to be providing and then back the content up with the subject matter experts. That will help both people decide to go because what are they going to learn and get out of it, and it also will help you to align your subject matter experts better. It certainly felt like an attempt to just get everybody and anybody there as the speakers, and I think he learned a valuable lesson there that there was kind of just too many cooks in that kitchen. You can't give everybody 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Just simply can't. It's a 3-day event, 80 people, 30 minutes. You're talking like a week worth of content. That's not going to work. And then I think my last suggestion to him, other than it was way too big, um, it wasn't unifying. One of the first things that was separated was the accommodations in the venue. So the hotel and the conference center, you had to find travel.
Shuttle was not provided?
I don't know because I shuttled people.
Yeah.
Okay, I shuttled people, and they were happy. I think Uber was pleased. But in the next future, try and have your accommodations either at the conference place.
Mhm.
A lot of hotels do that, or within walking distance, because having it separated by that distance caused more logistical issues than I think necessary. So that was the first thing that wasn't together. Um, Another thing that was a challenge was the venue itself was set up to separate people. When you walked in, there was like a VIP area, and then there was the general public area, which I thought was counter to the message of the whole thing. Because you
Yeah.
literally had a barrier between everybody, and you put the general admission behind, like where the speakers and stuff were, but he classified like VIPs. And even though I had access to that, I didn't like it. I actually wanted to spend more time with people and wanted to
Yeah.
go talk to people. They weren't welcome to where I was, so I went over there. So unify. Don't have that barrier. If the purpose of that barrier was to allocate who has access to food, like also looked like what they were doing
Mhm.
there, then just have that area with like a food bracelet or something like that.
Right, right.
But you can go ahead and take your plate and sit with everybody else. Offer coffee and water to everybody, not just your VIPs, because people are there all day long. Okay? And then also have food options. The people who were there, like our good friend Ray, had to go find a cheese sandwich off property because there was no food being provided to people who paid a lot of money to be there. So open that up. And the last thing that wasn't unifying was because he had so many speakers and so many guests and so much going on, he split up the whole thing. So there was a
Mhm.
main room where there's a main stage, which I guess you can call like the keynote stage or something like that. And then there were separate, at least one separate room where they were doing interviews and panels and stuff like that. So if you were attending, you wouldn't be able to consume it all.
Uh,
You can't be in two places at once. So if you want to watch this keynote speaker speak, you're going to be missing
if
one or two panels
yeah.
or so. Um, so it needs to be unified. Like quite literally, less people, lay it out more. Take a look at Manitoba Stronger Together. Their conference was perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about. There was no VIP area. There were some reserved tables, but there
Mhm.
was no barriers. Everybody had food taken care of. And all of the content was on the one stage, laid out. You had an agenda. You got to see who, when, where. Well, not the where was right there. So it was I think those are my constructive criticisms for next time. Unify it.
Yeah,
Like it
'cause
really needs to be unified and a
and
little
hope
bit
there is a
smaller.
next time as well, because it's a good opportunity to bring speakers in to share that information, share that knowledge.
Well, there's definitely a lot of good feedback. So
Mhm.
there was a lot of people who were happy with it, like very happy with it. Looking forward to the next one, but highly encourage that to
Yep.
happen. Some of the rumors was maybe in Toronto will be the next one, and yeah, you're going to Lions Den there if you're going to try and have a conservative conference there. But look, keep it up. But the way I would plan the event is leave the venue later, go do your ticket sales, make them affordable because the
Mhm.
ticket sales were high because the venue costs are high and the expenses are high. Also, so many speakers and travel, and a lot of people had to travel covered. So those costs to him are very high. Minimize that. Try
Yeah.
to minimize that. Um, People like me who are willing to travel and cover my own costs, as long as I can, get a space for interviews. That's a good way to offset costs. But he didn't have a lot. And by the way, it worked out best for us anyways, because when I got there, I saw where the tables were. They were in the main hall
So
area.
there would be noise.
So right,
Yeah.
it would have been private. It would have been quiet. I would have had a lot of background noise in the interviews, and if I had to pay for it, I probably would be pretty disappointed about it. It worked out right for us anyways. We got the content we were looking for our audience. But those will be my constructive suggestions, not even criticisms, because I think he needs to do it again. Um, but make the focus to content, back it by the subject matter experts. And
Mhm.
then when you're getting closer to the date, then figure out your venue. Because
Yeah.
people don't care about the venue. But if you book a venue that's really expensive, your ticket prices are going to
Already,
go up.
yeah, it's dictating that.
Yeah, and your ticket prices will limit your audience for sure. So that was that.
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree. And there's a comment here from Derek. Crowdfunding would help. Well, that's the ticket sales. If you want to attend, go buy a ticket, go attend.
Yeah, and he did a good job bringing sponsors together. Like Bow Valley was there, APP was there, UCP was there, PPC was there. There was a lot of sponsors. Like if you do a sponsor thing, but again, I think a lot of money went on accommodations and hospitality for speakers and the venue, and that pushed the ticket price up high, way too high. I think it was 400 for the 3 days, and that's no food. You're still on your own.
Yeah.
That's no accommodations. It's not like $400 gets you a room and food and the conference. It was high. It was
Yeah.
high. Yeah, there was just under 500 people there, and there was close to 80 speakers. You would
Yeah.
expect a couple thousand people for that many, and I'm sure he was. It's just finances. It's tough. It's tough.
It is tough. It is tough. We're looking at that ourselves with regard to upcoming events. So we've got to really find a nice, healthy balance between venue cost and ticket price.
Yep. And we can kind of talk about
Yeah.
that a bit. October 17th, Edmonton, Red Deer 18th, and Calgary on the 19th. It's Dr. Shoemaker, Dr. Speaker, Dr. Hodgkinson in person.
Yep.
Dean Riley in person. Dean Riley's a filmmaker. Rainey. Sorry, thank you. Rainey. He's a filmmaker for the Why Can't We Talk About This? He's going to come on a show. I think it's Thursday. He's going to join us.
Oh, great.
Is it Thursday? No, Thursday, someone else. I think it's, I'll have to go check
Coming up.
Yeah, because he was going to come on this week, and I don't know if it was this week, maybe early next week. But he's going to come on to talk about this. But Why Can't We Talk About This? He'll be here in person. And then we'll have Dan Hartman virtual, because he's got some surgery that he's got to deal with. And it looks like Dr. Thorpe might be virtual as well. But in person, we're going to have 4 people who are related to the Sean Hartman story, in that these are doctors that reviewed what was going on with Sean. Hodgkinson was one of the first to give a diagnosis on his death. But we got a speaker who reviewed some of the tissue samples. And then we got Shoemaker, who's very aware of the story, and he's talked about it a lot. We will also be premiering our Dan Hartman, Sean Hartman story documentary. We're working hard on that one. A lot of interviews that we filmed and we're putting together in that. So it will be a double feature. It will be our documentary along with Dean's documentary. And then you'll get to meet and greet and talk to everybody involved in that. So that'll be the 17th in Edmonton. Venue to be determined, because I do think you need to build your event and audience before you really pick everything. We have Red Deer ready to go, and Calgary is coming together quickly too. So stay tuned
to it.
Yep, we're going to get that out there soon, because these are the stories that you need to understand. Sean Hartman tragedy, really, and the people behind it trying to get that message out. And you can meet them and say hi.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing that.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a great event, and it's good to get these people in one place live, and a good opportunity, for Albertans to over and check it out.
Yep. And there'll be people helping in each location. I think Eric Bouchard, MLA, down in the Calgary area, he's likely going to be part of this as well. Maybe the MC, or we'll have him speak, because he's helping with the Calgary side of things. And Patricia Robertson is going to be assisting out in Edmonton. And we have lifted a lot of the heavy lifting in Red Deer to get that one going as well. So stay tuned. We'll have tickets. They're not going to be not going to be expensive at all, because I want you to be there. It's more important that you get the information. We can break even, then it's a good day.
Yeah, exactly.
As a
agree.
numbers lady.
Yes. As the numbers, no, it'll be a great event, and looking forward to gathering all those names and voices together and having.
Yep. And I already know some people who are definitely going to participate. I just don't want to put all their names now, because our speakers and the people that are going to be there are the doctors. that we'll be focusing on that, and the filmmaker. So, because Dean did a great job.
Yep.
So we're going to show his video, his movies, documentary, at least 3 locations, in Alberta, and it'll be there for you.
Cool.
All right. Get into the news, because there was some stuff since our last show that we can talk about here. So there we are. We had Chet Chisholm on Friday, a deep dive. That's never enough time.
Yeah.
And it was fun with him, because I'm like, hey, let's do this. And he goes, yeah, but I think I only have like 15 minutes worth. I'm like, Chet, don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Also, we know you can fill it up.
Yeah. And he did a great job. This was about the ideology and the subculture behind the at least the engravings on the cartridges of the bullets.
Yeah.
The casings, cartridges, yeah. Because what did they mean? There was 4 different messages, so he deep dived into that, the gaming culture, and also some of the experts out there trying to blame video games again for violence. He kind of took us through some of that history, and also debunked some things like, oh, he must have been playing this game, and it turns out via his Steam account.
Didn't even have it. Yeah.
He didn't have any accomplishments in it. That's as much as we know, because those little cards or badges or whatever means, you did something. But it does not look like that was one of his games. But Steam has blocked his game list, but didn't block his achieve or badge list. One of the things I was surprised about as I was getting on with my day after this was Bruce Party. Both of his videos on Facebook are hidden. I didn't hide them. So the first one, episode number 24, when we started into the Constitution, it was a half-an-hour episode. He did a great job, but we had to have him back for a second part. But when I went to Facebook shortly after his interview, I noticed it wasn't in our timeline. What happened there? Then I went into our video list in Facebook, and it's not there. I'm like, what happened there? It must have been a tech glitch, right? Must have been. We had him back again, episode 29, so a week later to finish up. And lo and behold, it happened again, just for his episode. So, and this is just Facebook, because YouTube loves his episodes. It works great there. But if you look here, we have episode 23, Nadine, and we had a Charlie Kirk assassination, but 24 is missing. 25 with Chris Dacey's there. 24 is missing. I thought it was a tech hiccup. There's 26, 7, 8, 30. 29 is missing too, and it was Party again.
Coincidence?
Must be. Because on Facebook, his interview with us stayed up. No problematic there. But his appearance on our 2 lives didn't stay up. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah.
No other platform did anything like that. YouTube, like I said, amplifies Alberta self-determination conversation. It seems like we get good numbers for that. But Facebook, for some reason, now it's not deleted. You can go back into the event, then go into there, and then you can watch it. But it's not on our timeline, and it's not in our video catalog. So interesting. So it's not like there was a deletion or it never was there. It's there.
It's there.
It's just hidden. So I thought that was interesting. Let people know, and also give them links to the X version. Here's the Unify. So this was kind of the quid pro quo. We'll give you a media pass if you share. There we go. We shared, and I also gave my breakdown today. So thank you to the team there that provided that. Hope you like it. Combating Hate Crime Act. Liberals want to criminalize hate speech. This was a topic for our mashup on Saturday.
So just add to your long day of interviews during the day. You ended up with the mashup.
I ended Theo Fleury at 6 o'clock, and then this started at 7. So I had to pack up, get to the hotel. As you can see, I was warm, so I opened my shirt. I need to be a little bit more comfortable. And then straight into this for 2 hours. Great episode. Rob Anders joined us. He had tech issues. It turned out in the end his battery died on him. Interesting, because he was really getting into the meat and potatoes. But he will be back. We're going to have him back because he's just a big source of good information. And then we got Tiana came back. Our friend Jason from Wiretap Media. He's great. He's staying on top of a lot of these subjects. You can see in a bit, because Antifa and Canadian Anti-Network were part of this conversation. Nico's co-host Rob joined us, the liberal, and he's a really good, open-minded person.
He is. I enjoyed some had to say and how he explained it.
Yeah, and also learned that he served. So he served in Afghanistan too. So he's got some of that experience behind him as well. Very smart guy. And then, of course, Nico. We are all loving Nico. He works hard, you can tell, because he's got no hair, just like me. But it was a good episode. Check it out. 2 hours, deep diving into that. Tiana had to jump because she's on call. She works with the rigs down in Texas. So she got called away. But again, anytime she's got the screen, enjoy.
Yeah, people love her.
Enjoy.
Yeah, people love her.
Yep, absolutely. She does not hold back. So if you're paying attention to what's going on within Canada, because I hate saying Canada did this. This is a leadership within Canada. And by the way, I'm not taking a position on whether or not the war is justified or not justified and who's hurting who. I think war in general sucks. Okay. It'd be great if nobody was dying anywhere. This includes Ukraine, Russia, and every other war that we've had, especially when we learn later. I'm not saying this is happening now, but later, there's usually other reasons for these things. Even the Vietnam War, we even learned about World War II, World War I. I'm not even sure there's a single war that's happened where we didn't learn later that, well, that wasn't quite what it seemed, or they really weren't scared or needed protection, or like something. But in this case, Canada, Britain, and Australia recognize the state of Palestine. They did this during Charlie Kirk's memorial. And of course, this is going to rock U.S. relations. There are going to be more countries that are picking a side on this issue. And a lot of Canadians are not happy. So Mark Nixon posted here. And Mark is somebody that's going to be coming on the show soon. I think it's going to be October is when his schedule will allow for it. So we're working on that for you. He asked the questions, why is Canada moving in lockstep with Britain and Australia on Palestine, but not with our number one trading partner, the U.S.? Carney has abandoned our greatest ally to score points with the global elites. This will age badly. Well, Mark, my friend, the quick reason is, well, look at the countries he named there. Canada, Britain, Australia. That's Commonwealth. So these are countries within the Commonwealth, the largest ones. And it's no surprise that they're in lockstep with likely what the king wants to do. And that's what you're seeing here. When Commonwealth countries do similar things, it's likely because they're Commonwealth countries. So it took this as an opportunity to remind Albertans that Alberta needs to separate from both the Commonwealth and Canada.
Yeah.
Because this is not a decision by Canadians. This is a decision by the leader of Canada. And it's not a popular one at all.
Trust your leader. No.
I'm sure aliens haven't come down because they really don't want to meet our leaders.
No.
Yep. Yeah, they're not here to meet our leaders. They're like, no, we saw, we're not interested.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, we're going on somewhere else. Look at that microbiology on Mars. Look, check that out. But anyways, it's not a popular move. There's going to be a lot of resistance to it, both sides. And there's already been video coming out of Hamas thanking Canada for this. Yeah, and by the way, Palestine isn't Hamas. Hamas is in Palestine, but Palestinians are not all Hamas. It's like
correct,
right? Like not all dogs are poodles, but all poodles are dogs. Like there's got to be a separation there. And saying, for example, Canada Anti-Hate Network, trying to say all of Canada is Canada Anti-Hate Network or what they believe in would be wrong.
Absolutely.
Right? So there's people out there that are upset because of the actions of a few within the country that's they're not happy with, but they're blaming the entire state for it. I like to see peace. I like to see peace. And this is something that is going to divide not just the Middle East, but everywhere. And that could be part of the Marxist dialectic. Speaking of which, he's coming on Friday.
So Vlad Tepes,
yep,
excellent.
Coming on Friday. Yeah, we're going to get our reminder about what the Marxists are up to.
We got to remind him it's only a half an hour segment because it could go on
but it's
for
just
a long time.
But it's just him, and he knows. So when I get him with other people, things can run long. Just him on Friday. Wiretap, so here we go. Canada Anti-Hate Network, Bernie Farber, and you also have the Barbara Perry. These these groups are not what their names say. They are actually generating hate. They picked a side. They're focusing on one side and to drum up what's turned out to be a lot of slander, quite frankly, defamation. They've had to retract a lot, and there's a lot going on there. The Wiretap, keep an eye on him if you're not following him. Wiretap Media CA on X, because he's doing a lot of the same things that we're doing, which is trying to expose the problems here in Canada, where they're originating from, and why Canada doesn't feel like Canada anymore. One of the main reasons why this is such a hot topic now is Trump with his Antifa declaration that they're terrorists, plus Canada and the US and many other places bringing in hate speech laws. And Canada's running right into that right now with Bill C9. We covered that a bit on Saturday. It's scary. Life in prison for talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And we're seeing what's happening in Germany and other places in Europe already. They're going around rounding up people. It's getting pretty crazy. So pay attention to Wiretap. And I definitely think Canada should defund hate. So God bless on this one, because Canada pays for this. The Anti-Hate Network, some are around $1 million now from the Liberal government to go ahead and do this work. Their work goes into Parliament, and they also contribute to creating the laws. Like Bill 63 was partially contributed to by. I know Barbara Perry has been acknowledged as one of the contributors, and this is trouble. This is trouble. A very small group of people are creating the persona of hate in Canada where it wasn't there, and it's not even there. Kirama rules. She's highlighting this as well, because if you're paying attention, it's just a small group that's creating this. So he was in, I think, Toronto, possibly for this. Police across Ontario seem to appease unruly protesters at the expense of other citizens' civil liberties. Organizations like the government-funded Canadian Anti-Hate Network actively encourage protesters to conceal their identities and bring props that are often misused, such as flagpoles, banners, and sound devices. Here, mass protesters tried weaponizing police to prevent us, media, from recording the public demonstration. This was our first experience confronting Antifa head-on, and I found it tough to maintain composure. So as you can see here, this guy's just blocking the camera, putting hands in front of cameras, blocking everybody that he can. Media has a right to be there, and the police really are on sometimes the wrong side of this. We're about to see in Ottawa, even the police got overwhelmed. So this is something that Canadians, I know our audience is aware of this, but you guys can start spreading the awareness about these groups. And also the police in Ontario have now been handcuffed. They're not allowed to decide investigations on their own anymore.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
This came in place, I believe, because of Gruce, Felon Gruce. So they're kind of handcuffed now. They take orders more like the RCMP, which is paramilitary. The policing in Ontario, not necessarily OPP, but all the municipal ones like the Toronto Police, Ottawa Police, they are starting to become more paramilitary, which means they take orders. They don't think for themselves. So they're told what to do instead of doing what they believe to be right.
Right.
That's a big change, and you're starting to see the outcome. Like, this guy's absolutely an antagonizer, and he is blocking media, and he should be reminded that media has a right to be there. But here's another example in Toronto where the police arrested the victims of Antifa, who's attacked Nick. I want to get his name right, because I have his brother on the show.
Nick and Wild Bill.
Yeah, but what's Nick's last name again? Sorry, folks, it's just slipping my mind because we've had his brother on, and brother is the one that went to school, fought against it. He got kicked out. His parents lost their job.
Yeah,
come on.
The boy.
Yeah, the boy.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, chat. See,
yeah.
we're
What
just
is the young fella who the whole "Make Canada Great Again"?
Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to find his name because he deserves a recognition. Not Anderson. Come on, guys, help me out here.
What's it?
Oh, Alexander. There it is.
You
Right
go.
at the top. Okay, so Nick Alexander, and then Canadian Armed Forces veteran Wild Bill were assaulted. So this is the second time that Nick has been assaulted and bloodied.
Yeah.
and at least that I'm aware of on film, probably more than that. But he was there, standing his ground. This rainbow crowd, Antifa, got violent, and the police, their way of dealing with this was to ask Nick and Wild Bill to leave. They have a right to be there, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
one of those, the mob is going to win because we're going to focus on what the mob is focusing on. And this is something I've noticed from the police, even in Ottawa, the RCMP as well. They're removing the people that are being victimized because that's one way to end the victimization, instead of going after the people doing the
Yeah.
criminality.
Yeah, exactly.
So this video here, you can see Nick's face is all bloody, and that's exactly what they do. They take him away in cuffs because they don't want to leave. Now, here's the way the police do it: they cuff, remove, release,
Yeah, exactly.
because their goal is to just remove. So here's how they're removing it. And if they see 2 people versus 20 or 200, they will go for the 2. And this is bad because what you've done to this crowd is you've enabled them. All we have to do is gang up and the police will do what we want. So that's unfortunate. I don't like to see that. It's also unfortunate that these crowds are being so bullying and harassing and violent. But here we go. And apparently Antifa doesn't exist, but there they are on video.
Yeah.
As we're wrapping up here, Ottawa had its issue as well. Thank you to Chris Dacey breaking this, getting the video. A mob of Palestinian supporters took over the streets of Wellington in Ottawa and painted a large mural on there. If you go through the videos from Dacey, he saw it start. He saw it get really violent. Here they are painting the road. The police are doing what they can with their bikes. They were severely outnumbered, and they actually tried a couple of times to clear these streets. And a couple people, 2 people arrested, which is shock because so many people there were doing it. There you go. So they're trying to clear the streets. It's getting
Yeah.
pretty rough. And they even pull back. The police had to pull back near the end, kind of just let them finish what they were going to do. Let them have the street. They surrendered the street. Then in the end, 2 people were arrested, charged with mischief, and Chris put out a post. I wonder if they're going to get 7
Yeah,
years.
no kidding. Let's see how
Yeah.
long they get.
Yeah, absolutely. Rules for thee, but not for me. But good job on Chris, who was in the middle of that, capturing that, breaking all of that. You're a superstar, buddy.
Yeah, good man.
We'll see where that one goes. And then, of course, Charlie Kirk's funeral. Very well attended. No issues that I'm aware of. No violence. No nothing. There was a small, tiny group of protesters on it. Protesting Memorial has such a bad look. But there was a very small group compared to
Mhm.
what we've seen before. There didn't seem to be any violence. There was a lot of speeches. Hopefully this is healing and allowing people to pick up the torch and move on. What Charlie was focused on.
Yeah.
Here's-
Condolences to Erica and the kids.
Yeah, and here's Viva Fry, who's clearly not afraid of being out in public in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form. Large groups, even ones that would have a large target like the memorial. Here he is capturing video because that's where he went. He did send his apologies for not being able to come to Calgary, but he was here instead. So thank you very much. He'll run for office. All right, there we go. We're down to our last minute. I know
Yeah.
it was a lot about the weekend and what we're doing. It was kind of planned this way. I didn't really reach out to get a guest for today, but we do have a busy week coming up. Tomorrow is going to be Sean and Teresa Buckley. They're starting a cross Canada tour for natural path awareness because the government's trying to crack down.
Yep.
They got, I think, 150,000 signatures on a petition that they're going to bring to Ottawa, deliver to Ottawa, and they're making stops across the country. So we're going to that tomorrow.
Great.
Wednesday, I'm trying to book one of the speakers from the conference, Mia something. I'll have to look up her name. But she's one of the people who's been very vocal about gender, trans is mental illness, and the chopping off of body parts is abuse. And we do this to children. The lies that are coming out of that group about the medical side of things. And hopefully we can get her. Thursday is Glenn from the council joining us,
local
and then
council.
Friday is Vlad Evans joining
Excellent.
us. A busy week for you all with guests, so we took this as an opportunity to kind of update you on what we're doing, the events, and how our weekend went.
Yep. Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and hope you have a fantastic day, and see you tomorrow.
Have yourself a wonderful day. You take care of each other. Love you all.